the history now of how raindrop technique came about. It was created by Gary Young, who's also the founder of Young Living Essential Oils. He's an authority in essential oil production and research and has studied different modalities as part of his own journey to recover from paralysis. It was in 1990 that Gary had a dream. He saw in the dream how these different techniques could be combined into one master technique, which he decided to call Raindrop technique. 2 weeks later, he worked on a man with scoliosis. Now, this man had a 45-degree right lateral upper curvature of the spine and a 25-degree left lateral lower curvature of the spine. Gary performed on him what he saw in his dream, and the man grew 1.5 inches with a single raindrop technique. Now, to really appreciate raindrop technique, it will help to understand Gary Young. So a bit about Gary. He grew up on a farm in Idaho. His dream was to become a farmer himself and own his own ranch. But at age 24, he was paralyzed in a logging accident and told he would never walk again. He tried suicide, and on his third attempt, being the Master Cleanse Detox program, Gary had decided he was going to starve himself to death. He got feeling back in his toes on day 256. It's what gave him hope, and from there he studied natural therapies and became a naturopath. 13 years after that accident, he was able to walk again. And he did it through nutrition. Gary was a walking miracle to many people. And because of this, he set up his own naturopathy practice in Chula Vista, Mexico. The clinic attracted loads of people looking for healing from all over the place. But Gary's real transformation began when he was first introduced to high-quality essential oils. Combining essential oils and exercise, he built up his mental focus and physical strength. And after 6 months, he placed 60th out of an almost 1,000 people in a half marathon. I want you to think about that. This guy was paralyzed, told he would never walk again at age 24. It took him 13 years to get out of the wheelchair and walk again. And then after discovering essential oils, he used them to build up his mental focus and massage them into his legs to build up his physical strength. And after 6 months, he placed 60th in a half marathon. That's profound. That's a person who's on a quest, on a mission to really understand healing and the body's self-healing capabilities. And it's from all of his knowledge and all of his understanding and all of his research that Raindrop is the master technique that it is. But Raindrop technique incorporates lots of different modalities from a variety of different cultures. The first step of Raindrop is a valor balance, and this is done while the recipient is face up. Now, it's a really quiet step. It involves holding the feet after the oil blend Valor has been placed on them. Given that Valor isn't always in stock, it can be replaced with a substitute, something like Release, Harmony, frankincense, or black spruce. This step is really relaxing for the giver and the receiver. It's inspired by a ritual from ancient Egypt. The Temple of Isis has hieroglyphics along the wall of one of its rooms depicting an emotional clearing using essential oils. Gary was invited to take pictures of these hieroglyphs. He was invited to look in this room in the Temple of Isis. The ritual was performed in silence and dim lighting as it helped the receiver sink very, very deeply into themselves without any outside distractions. Now, in Raindrop technique, we perform in silence with either soft lighting or we use an eye pillow. The ritual also involved having one person at the feet and one at the head of the receiver anointing with oils. Now, Valor Balance mimics this positioning of the giver as the main giver standing at the feet. And if there was a second person present, then you would stand at the head, they would stand at the head and apply Valor to the shoulders. Second step of Raindrop technique is a form of reflexology that's performed on the feet. It's called Vitaflex technique, and it originated in ancient Tibet. It's a gentle rolling motion of the hand so that it can send electrical pulses and oil to reflex points on the spine. The third step of raindrop technique is performed with the recipient face down. It involves sprinkling oils up the spine from the height of no more than 15 centimetres or 6 inches. And it's dropped in such a way that it feels like drops of rain. This is where raindrop gets its name. The idea came from the Native Americans who teach that standing in the rain is purifying to our energy field. After the oil has been raindropped on the spine, we use a soft feathering technique to disperse the oil up the spine and to the various organs. This technique was inspired by Native Americans, who in ancient times, the Lakota people used to be nomadic. During certain months of the year, they'd travel across the border into Canada where the lights of the northern sky, the aurora borealis, would dance across the night skyline. The Lakota people would hold their hands up to the lights and draw it in through their hands, moving it to an area of the body where they felt they may have had illness. They believed that these lights helped to heal them. Once they were confined onto reservations and could no longer go to Canada, they adapted this technique. The giver used this light feathering movement to feather energy up the receiver's back, while the receiver's hands were held up to the sky. Gary Young learned this from a Lakota medicine man during a Native American vision quest, and he adapted it to raindrop technique. In between the raindropping of the oils and the feathering, we use various massage techniques. They are designed to balance and relax the back and spine. The fourth step of raindrop is performed with the recipient face up, and it's a full lymphatic pump performed on the head but reaches all the way to the toes. These 4 steps of raindrop technique all benefit the body, but the real magic in raindrop lies in the young living essential oils that are used. And look forward to that in your practice. One of your teachers, either myself or Kate or Jen, will teach you how to get the most from every single step that makes you that person who's able to deliver that beautiful professional standard that Gary Young himself would have wanted. So then, what are the benefits? What do people experience after they've had a raindrop technique? Sometimes your clients will feel emotionally balanced. They may have a physical height increase. They may comment that they sleep well, a good bowel movement, feeling alert and energized, an overall sense of well-being. But occasionally they will feel emotional or groggy. Initial increase in pain as the body potentially realigns. The process of massaging and relaxing the body in raindrop can allow the release of toxins, because when the body relaxes, it lets go of toxicity so that it can be eliminated from the body. We call that a detox. Now, some of the symptoms you're going to see around that are maybe tired, maybe headaches, maybe thirsty, maybe strong smelling underarms or breath or urine. Very occasionally mood swings, very occasionally skin rashes, and in very, very rare situations, nausea and vomiting. Now, these indicate that toxins are being pulled out of the cells but not eliminated quickly enough from the body. So if you have a client who's having some of those symptoms, they're having a release, you want to make sure that they're drinking plenty of water. I'm talking like 2 or 3 litres in a day. And you want to remind them that other beverages don't count. You know, coffee doesn't count, tea doesn't count, Gatorade doesn't count, soft drink doesn't count. You want to ensure them or assure them, make sure that they're going to the toilet regularly and having regular bowel movements. And you want to encourage them to reduce acidic foods in the diet just while they're feeling some of those more physical release symptoms. So there's also a handout that you give to your recipients, the what to expect, and preparing for raindrop technique. That will help them to understand what to expect from it and how they can personally best prepare themselves for it. Now, the other thing is that people will often say, how often can you have a raindrop? Well, monthly raindrop is more like an ongoing maintenance thing. But when someone's starting their self-care program or their self-care wellness plan, and they're relatively balanced already, you might say once a fortnight for, say, 2 months, and then monthly ongoing maintenance then. But if someone's experiencing some challenges in different areas, you might want to start with weekly for the first 1 to 2 months and then move to fortnightly and then review it. Your client care program is their understanding of what they need to do and what they're observing and looking for in this journey of maintaining and balancing their wellness. So, you can tailor it, is what I'm saying. You can tailor the different programs to what people need. And we're going to teach you how to do that as well in your business module of how to create your own website and how to advertise your services as a practitioner. But, raindrops can even be performed every 1 to 2 days if needed. Now, that's likely to stimulate a pretty big release due to the volume of oils that are being used. However, they do it at the Nova Vita Center in Ecuador. And all of their clients receive oil sessions on a daily basis, whether it's raindrop technique or neuroauricular technique, or, Vitaflex technique, anything like that. So generally across the board though, what are the benefits of raindrop technique? Everyone responds differently to raindrop, and most people will float out the door afterwards feeling balanced and deeply relaxed, yet energized at the same time. Many people report that they'll sleep really well, but they'll have an increased inner vitality. Some people will not sleep so good because they'll feel quite alert, but they'll have a really lovely sense of inner calm. The massage and reflex components of raindrops support back and spine health and flexibility. And this is one of the reasons that it really is a master technique, because it was created to give a person an experience of holistic rituals, holistic healing rituals of ancient culture that intertwine with aromatherapy to enhance the experience further. But ultimately, people will just say they feel clearer and they feel calmer, both mentally and emotionally. So that's it in relation to our history and the benefits of raindrop technique. I hope you enjoyed learning about that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye for now.